right, welcome back everybody to Montreal, and we're the world number 3 coming up against the unseeded Lys. They played before, these two have played before. They played, I think, this year, and it wasn't a great result for Lys, but that's because Swiatek is scary, and she can play really well and beat players pretty easily. 2-0 ahead. They played twice. But yeah, they played at the Australian Open, and Swiatek got the win in straights, love, and 1. So, in fact, in the two matches they played, Lys has won 3 games. 6-1, 6-1, 6 love, 6-1. That's the 4 sets that they played. So, that's rough. That's a rough one. But let's see if Lys can, first of all, win 2 games in a set, but then, see what she can do, if she can go on and do any more damage. But we'll see. Also, men's matches going on at the moment. We've got Fritz about to start. Kaboli just beat Marijan. Mukova's taken on Bencic. Rublev won earlier. Lehechka beat Fils earlier. Tiafoe won. Fokina got the win earlier. Keys also won. Pegula lost, which is a little surprising. 2-time defending champion going down to Sevastova, who's coming back from a knee injury / having a baby. She had a baby, came back, hurt her knee, and now she's come back again. So went off, started a family, and then come back. As she was playing a couple of matches, I think she played it was like a third tournament back. She busted her knee and she was out for another year. So it's been a brutal couple of year for Sevastova, but great win to come back. And her reaction, if you go watch the highlights, it was just kind of like, I'm back. Like she didn't even react. It wasn't a big deal. It was crazy. All right. We're just getting ready to warm up, then we'll keep it going. I bet one ITF match earlier in Dublin, so I have 3 matches. Cool. I don't know what any of that means. Yeah, thanks, Dutchy. Yeah, I looked at the schedule. Schedule for tomorrow. God, there's only 4 matches on the men and the women's tomorrow. It's very light. Tomorrow night, Coco Gauff, that's the big match, I think, of the day. Cerundolo Zverev might be the other big match worth watching. But other than that, Runa Poprin's interesting. Rabakina Yastrebska's good, I guess. But tomorrow's pretty... I mean, I feel like I said this every day. Tomorrow is pretty light. Again, not much going on. It's just like drip feeding one good match a day. Like, it's very strange. Obviously, there's a lot of matches on, but it's like, in terms of like must watch, there's like maybe one a day. Maybe. But we'll see what happens. Pardon me. But luckily today we've got a couple of matches worth watching, so that's good. Thank you, Ken, for choosing the best. No worries. We love watching Swiatek. Nothing is going on. There is a Polish song called That. Very nice one, by the way. But that was a total fluke, so I can't take that. Can't claim that as smart. All right. Raducanu some other match of the day. Yeah, that's definitely match of the day. So yeah. Let's see how Swiatek does. All signs point to a Swiatek Bakery sub-hour match. So if it's anything else more than that, that's a win for Lys. The only way she gets worse is she loses love and love. So if Lys can win a couple of games in each set or push Swiatek in one of the two sets, I think that is a massive improvement. All right. And we'll keep an eye on what's going on in Toronto as well. Match of the night for Europeans. Yeah, match of the morning. Shout out to everyone who stayed up, by the way. You are a legend, and I appreciate you. Anyone watching the replay who didn't stay up for this match and slept, you're a traitor, and I can't believe you did this. How dare you? I thought you knew better. By the way, if you are watching the replay of this match, comment down below and admit it. That you went to sleep because you're weak and you betrayed us. All of us here in the chat live, we all feel betrayed by you. So don't be shy. Put it down in the comments below. If you're watching this in the replay in the morning, eating breakfast and after a beautiful night's sleep, where all of us are staying up all night watching these matches, just admit it. Just admit it. It's okay. We'll forgive you this one time, but don't do it again. I'm half awake. Well, you're here. You're here, so that's okay. If you're present, that's fine. Talking about those people that are watching the replay because they were like, "Oh, it's 11 o'clock at midnight. I need to sleep." Unless you've got a good excuse, you got something to do tomorrow, and you're like, "Nah, I was just tired." I was tired too, and I woke up at 1:30 a.m. I was very tired. But I rolled out of bed anyway. I'm here in the UK watching. See, look, there we go. There we go. Good. I'm talking to the 3 people that didn't show up because they were tired. They went to bed. They needed to sleep. Anyways, Swiatek is returning serve. Lys will serve. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go Swiatek in straights because that's what's happened when they played. Swiatek hits it out in the first ball and it's 15-love. As we just serve into the backhand Swiatek. Backhand from Lys. Into the backhand Swiatek. As Lys backhand again. The backhand Swiatek. Lys again to the backhand Swiatek. And Swiatek gets a win up. 15-all. By the way, anyone in the chat who's like, I like sleeping, I need to do things tomorrow. You're here now. It's fine. I'm talking about those people that didn't even show up to say hello. Those people that left, that didn't even show up. They went to sleep before this even we're live. You're here now. You can be like, hi, I'm tired. I'm going now. That's okay. You made an appearance. You made an effort. You made an effort. I'm talking about those people that went to bed at 10 o'clock and didn't even see 1 second of this match. And they're going to wake up and have breakfast, watch the replay, and then be like, oh no, he's talking about me. Anyways, Lys hits it out. It's 15:30. It's all right. We'll forgive you this time. As the return goes in the net from Swiatek. 30-all. 30-all. As the return goes into the forehand of Lys, but it's out by Swiatek. And Lys 40-30. To be the greatest start she's ever had against Swiatek. As the return goes into the forehand of Lys. Forehand Swiatek into the forehand of Lys. Goes down the line. Great shot. Swiatek gets to the backhand. Lys goes into that Swiatek forehand. Lys on the stretch. Swiatek forehand again. Into the forehand of Lys. And Swiatek backhand cross court. Lys can't get it. We get to deuce. I watched Popper and Medvedev. It was 8 a.m. in the morning in Finland. Wait, did you stay up all night or did you wake up and watch it? Deuce. As the return goes the forehand of Lys. Backhand now from Swiatek. Into the backhand of Lys. As Swiatek forehand. To the backhand of Lys. Lys hits it out. Advantage Swiatek. 1 a.m. in South Africa. I slept 2 hours, but I'm here ready to support Swiatek. That's it. Oh, you stayed up all night. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. That's crazy, but awesome. Pretty frightening when you know a game point might be one of the only chances you have in the entire match. Yep. As the return goes back of Lys, forehand Swiatek. As Lys goes down the line, Swiatek gets it back into the backhand of Lys. To the backhand of Swiatek. Lys backhand again. Swiatek slice. Lys with the backhand again. Down the line. There's a great shot. All right. Lys surviving. Deuce. We get to deuce. As we serve again from Lys. As a return from Swiatek too hard. And it's advantage Swiatek. Lys couldn't control it. Advantage Swiatek. Serve is a fault. Second serve. Double fault. There's the break. That's a shame. Lys was played some good points in that game. And she is already down a break, which has happened every set she's played against Swiatek. She has only won one game per set. Half of Montreal is watching you. What? There's only 500 people in Montreal? Well, there's 1,000 people that live in Montreal? That's not true. Is that like a Toronto versus Montreal beef or some... Did I miss something? All right. Swans versus Bombers later. Swans. Why do the same people come into the chat and just like try and annoy me? I feel like it's a daily thing. It's not going to work today, but yeah. Just so I thought I'd point it out. The same clowns / characters coming in the chat. Maybe I'll tell him that his team is playing against a tough team later and I'm going to say that his team's going to lose. Maybe I should say something about the player that he likes watching tennis and she lost. Maybe I should say something about Australia. Not today. Love 15. Maybe I should tell him that DVD collecting is stupid. And that he should get with the times. Maybe I should say that he has a wig. I was wearing a wig. Or I like the room the other way better. What else do people say? All right, love 15s. We double for Swiatek, love 30. The Rockies are going to win today. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Yes. That's the kind of energy we want. That's more like it. We win every second day, so we lost yesterday, we'll win today. All right, love 30. Why not just use your middle finger? Well, I have a cut on my finger. You know, I cut my finger a week ago, and it still needs to be wrapped. And it was love 30. Lisa chance to get the break back straight away, but she hits it out. 15-30. 15-30. As the return goes to Fon Swiatek, and she rips it for a winner. It's a Wimbledon champion right here. 30-all. 30-all. As the return goes to Fon Swiatek. Fon out from Lys on the stretch. Great shot. Swiatek slices it back. As the backhand out of the forehand Swiatek. Again, the backhand of Lys. Swiatek. Forehand down the line. Lys just defending. And Swiatek comes in again. Hits a backhand. Winner. Somehow. It hit the line. Everyone thought it was out except for the Hawkeye. And it's 40-30. Speaking of losing, we saw Daria went out. Go Demon, go Crows. Hope you win the flag. That made what was that sentence? As the return goes the backhand of Swiatek, 4-1 for Lys, can't get it. 2 love Swiatek. Crows on top of the ladder. Yeah, I hope they stay there. And Collingwood a second. 2-0 Swiatek. Lys serves. Into the backhand Swiatek. Backhand from Lys to the slice Swiatek. She can't get it. And it's 15 love. Did we watch Shelton today? No. We got Raducanu versus Anisimova next, which is match of the day. Return goes to the forehand of Lys. Lys puts it away. 30 love. As that goes out by Lys, 30-15. As Lys serves again. Fault, second serve. As a return for Swiatek goes in to the back of the Lys. Swiatek comes to the net, Lys with a pass, and Swiatek volleys it away. 30-all. 30-all. go. As with a 4-inch Swiatek goes long, and it's 40-30. $40-30. Least to get on the board. As the return goes nowhere because it's a fault. Second serve. As Swiatek gets a return winner. And it's deuce. Bit of serve again. Into the backhand Swiatek. Backhand from Lys. Into the backhand Swiatek as Swiatek gets it out. Advantage Lys. To get a game. Advantage Lys. First serve is the fault, second serve. Swiatek backhand return winner. Okay. Deuce. As Lys hits a forehand winner down the line. Beautiful shot. Advantage Lys. All right, Lys holds. She's on the board. No bagel in this set. Casper and Fritz would be a good final. Yeah, that'd be a good final. All right. All right, what's going on, chap? All right. I'm genuinely impressed by your pronunciation of Swiatek. Canada with Polish roots and totally fluent in both. Bravo. Thank you. I'm glad I can pronounce it right. Ruud and Diminor hit the wall in the last third of the clay season. Okay. So the Canadian Open Toronto asking players if water is wet video. No, I haven't. Bencic takes the first. Oh, nice. All right. Two-one Swiatek. She's at the break. As Lys hits it out in the return, it's 15-love. As the first serve is a fault, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes to forehand Swiatek. Forehand from Lys is out. 30-love. As at a backhand rally, Lys hits it to the forehand Swiatek. Swiatek in the net. And it's 30-15. As the return goes to the forehand Swiatek. Forehand now from Lys into the forehand Swiatek, who overhits it. 30-all. Chance for Lys to get the break back. Do you know what happened to Chris O'Connell, who's playing so well? I'm not sure why he withdrew. Not sure. 30-all. What happened to your hand? I hope we'll heal fast. Yeah, it's been a week, and the doctor said yesterday it looks all right. So if you want to get the backhand winner, it's 40-30. Stomach issues? Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, it should be okay as long as I just keep on like being careful. It's healing though. That's the best part. Thanks, Aga. Appreciate it. 40-30. As that goes out by Lys, and it's 3-1 Swiatek. I tell you what, though, every game has been, I think, 30-all. So, it's not been the easiest for Swiatek. Lys has been stubborn. It's been 21 minutes for 4 games. That's kind of long for a Swiatek 3-1. So... as that goes in the net from Lys, 15-love. Who just says Sabalenka's new doubles partner in the mixed doubles? To be honest, I don't think I'd rather see a doubles team than trying to get Sabalenka to team up with somebody else. Backhand goes out by Lys, 15-all. $15-all. 30-15. Did you get my postcard, Cam? Not sure. I got the right address. Yeah, I did. I read it out earlier. Yeah, I did. 30. Appreciate that. Thank you for the postcard. As that goes out by Lys, and it's 30-all. By the way, Chad, I was watching Mr. Bean between streams. I forgot how so many of the Mr. Bean part of the Mr. episodes. I forgot how much I missed. I knew I'm only on disc 2, which is 4 different volumes. I only watched volume 1. But man, it did not disappoint. 30-all. Is it a forehand cross court? Into the forehand of Lys. Backhand now Swiatek on the stretch. As Lys backhand cross court, Swiatek gets it. Lys with the forehand inside out is a winner. Great round. I tell you this. Lys knows that she can't play anywhere near like she did in the 2 matches they've already played. She has to play ultra aggressive. And I tell you, watching her play like this is making Swiatek have to play better, and it's making for a good match. So credit to Lys for definitely playing out of her comfort zone. Because I'm sure she'd rather sit there and try and rally. But she is being aggressive and playing well. Even though it's still 3-1 Swiatek, she's doing well. This is a good quality match. Return the net, and Lys gets 2 games in a set. That is progress. That is better than she's ever done against Swiatek. She won 2 games in a set. So that is already an improvement. Best result ever for her so far against Swiatek. All right. Survived the tsunami in Hawaii. Had to climb a mountain. Holy shit, really? I heard about the all that stuff, but I only saw initial flooding in the surrounding areas. I don't know how far it reached, but I'm glad people are safe. Because I know it was getting pretty sketchy for a while. You just never know with these things, you know. But that's good. As long as everyone's safe. It's funny to see Lys just being so happy that she's got 2 games. All right. 3-2. Swiatek to serve. A bit of fault from Swiatek. Second serve. As a return from Lys, the backhand Swiatek. Lys down the line, goes long. 15. Love. Only a few places got flooded. All right, well, good. I'm glad that people were safe. Uh, 15 love. Okay. Swiatek eventually hits it out. 15-0. Is it a fault by Swiatek, second serve? Second serve into the back in the Lys. Swiatek backhand somehow goes in, and then Swiatek with a forehand cross-court winner. Lys was good to get it back, but I don't know how Swiatek hit that angle. This hood is not as comfortable as the other one. I look like Red Riding Hood. Don't call me that. All right, 30-15. I've got a fault, second serve. Second serve. And the return goes out by Lys, 40-15. $40-15. $40-15. Cam, your hoodie, who does it represent? It represents nobody. Anyway, it's 40. What is it? 4-2. It's just it's the brand that it's the brand that makes clothing for the teams. So it's not representing anything. It's the brand that used to make jerseys and stuff. I don't know if they still do, but all right. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Swiatek hits a return winner. Love 15. Serve again. As the forehand goes out by Swiatek. 15-all. Just love those colors. Yeah, it's probably the brightest thing that I own. 15-all. And Swiatek forehand to forehand with Lys. And then Lys with the backhand on the stretch. Swiatek gets it back. Lys down the line. Hits it wide just. That's 15-30. $15-30. Serve again from Lys. As the return goes back into Lys. Forehand from Swiatek. Into the forehand of Lys. Swiatek hits it out. 30-all. As the return goes into the forehand of Lys. Forehand from Swiatek. And then Lys hits it wide. As she went down the line. And it's advantage. Or 40-30, 30-40 Swiatek. 30-40. $30-40. And Lys serves to the 40 Swiatek, who hits it in the net, and Lys gets the deuce. Do I follow rugby? No. No, I do not. All right, deuce. There's a bit of fault second serve. By Fritz up 5-3 against Diallo. And also Mukov is up in the second against Bencic. As Lys hits a slice, goes wide, and it's advantage Swiatek to take the double break. All right. Swiatek gets a double break. Lys hits it in the net. And it is 5-2 first set. Okay. All right. Okay, Mukova right thigh is taped. Oh, okay. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, let's see if Swiatek can serve it out. What's wrong with my middle finger? I was in a serious... I had a serious accident that completely ruined my career as a hand model, which I am still devastated over. I don't want to talk about it. Swiatek serving for the set. As a default second serve. Second serve. As the return goes to the backhand of Swiatek. Swiatek in the net, love 15. There's always feet modeling. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? This isn't OnlyFans, you know that. This is not... I'm not getting my toes out for free. Love 15. As a backhand slice from Lys, that goes out. We don't king shame, it's fine. If you like feet, we get it. It's fine. But you got to pay for that. 15 all. $15 all. Serve is an ace. That's a great serve. 30-15. 30-15. There's a fault, second serve. Go back and return now to the backhand of Swiatek. Backhand now from Lys into the forehand of Swiatek. Lys on the stretch. Into the forehand of Swiatek as Lys with the backhand cross court. Swiatek backhand down the line. It's a winner. And it's 40-15. Swiatek take the first set here. 40-15. As a return, goes into the back of Swiatek, backhand from Lys, into the forehand of Swiatek. Swiatek gets it out, one saved, 40-30. 40-30. All right, serve again. As Swiatek serves. A fault, second serve. Serve. Into the forehand. Lys goes wide. There's the set. Swiatek 6-2. 6-2 Swiatek. All right. Swiatek is so close, reaching elite Grand Slam tally. True. First set in the bag. 5 winners, 14 errors from Lys, but you know she's not usually an aggressive type of player. She doesn't usually play this aggressive, and she has to because if she doesn't, she'll get beaten badly again. But 6-2 is the best she's done against Swiatek in a set. But if she goes 6-love in the second, then it doesn't really matter. All right. How close is Swiatek to qualifying the WTA finals? That is a great question. If she wins this tournament, she qualifies on points. So pretty much like she's a week away from qualifying, really. If she wins this week, she will qualify. There you go. So she could qualify and be the second person to qualify on points. All right. First serve is a fault, second serve. Yeah, Sabalenka's already qualified. There's at least double faults. Love 15. And she serves in the forehand of Swiatek. Forehand from Lys. Into the forehand of Swiatek is Lys. Goes cross court. Swiatek gets it back. Lys just gets it back and in. Swiatek comes to the net with a volley, and that's too good. And it's love 30. Swiatek too good. Serve again from Lys. As return goes to the front of Lys. Lys hits it out. Love 40. Love 40. Swiatek to break. As the return goes to the front of Lys. Swiatek forehand. And Lys hits it wide. Swiatek too strong. He breaks. 1-love in the second. Okay. Swiatek with the break. The Grand Slam rule qualifies whoever wins a slam in that calendar year, regardless of points, correct? So the Grand Slam rule is... Yeah. What you just said. Yeah, you have to finish in the top 20, but be outside the top 8 to qualify for the Grand Slam, like the Grand Slam rule. But if there's 2 players, it's the higher ranked player. So there's only 1 spot. So just because, like, let's say, and it would be crazy if this happened, but let's say that Gauff and Keys both didn't finish in the top 8 for the end of your finals. Only the one that's higher ranked, let's say Gauff is number 9 and Keys is number 13, Gauff would take the spot, right? So if there's multiple, I think, again, there's only 1 Grand Slam slot for the highest ranked player who doesn't make it on points outside that, top 8. But to be honest, maybe Keys needs it later in the year if she doesn't do well for the next, couple months. But Keys is the only one that I think would need it because Gauff's almost qualified. Swiatek's nearly qualified. It would be crazy if the Grand Slam champions didn't qualify. Now, if the US Open champion, for example, is not, current. Let's say the player who wins the US Open is, I don't know. Let's just say, for argument's sake, who's on point? Who can't? So if you win 2,000 points, it gets you. Who's on like 500 points right now? Let's say that who's a player that's not had a good year, but let's say Bianca Andreescu wins the US Open, right? Let's say, or no, you know what? Let's say Krejcikova wins the US Open, and she's on 2,200 points. That right now won't be enough to get you in the top 8. In fact, she won't even get to the top 10 if she only gets that and doesn't do anything else this week or next week. Then she would be in competition for that spot. Now, at the moment, the 3 Grand Slam champions are 2, 3, and 4. So, again, Keys, Gauff, Swiatek, they should all qualify. Because they're on 4,000 points, minimum, like 4,000 above. And last year, I think you needed 3,500 or more to qualify. Like, that was the cutoff. Like if you had less than 3,500, you'd be in a fight. But the cutoff, I think, was 3.5. I think maybe. I'll just double check. Where the hell do I check? Yeah, so the players that qualified were 3,300. 3,500 was the lowest, was where Navarro was, who missed out because Krejcikova got in. So yeah, if you get 3,500 points, you're pretty much safe. 4,000, you're going to qualify. So Andreeva, right now you've got Andreeva, Keys, Gauff, Swiatek, all over 4,000 points. They should all qualify. If they didn't qualify, it means that they got injured and they didn't play for the rest of the year and then they lost. But they're very unlikely that they're going to lose all their points. Too low Swiatek, by the way. Even Anisimova at 3,500 should qualify. It's really that number 8 spot that has Raducanu's name on it at the moment, 2,800 points. She is in a vulnerable position. Yeah. But if you win 4,000 points, you'd be very unlucky not to qualify. You know? Because 4,000 points says, historically says you're going to make it. So, anyway, so that's, so if the US Open champion is not currently having a good season and hasn't got any points, then maybe they can get... I mean, last year we had that, right? The first time the Grand Slam rule was in effect last year for the women, and Krejcikova was number 12 in the world, and she qualified because she won Wimbledon, which was totally fair, and she made the most of it. She made the semis. I mean, it was totally justified. She deserved to be there, you know? On the men's side, I think the last time it happened was 2004, where Gaudio won the French and he kicked Agassi out of the top 8. I think it was that situation. I think it was 2004. I think Gaudio was like 10 in the world and he took Agassi's spot because Agassi was sitting in the number 8 spot, but Gaudio won the French, so he was the one who took the spot, even though Agassi had more points. Yeah, Gaudio was actually number 10, and he overtook Nalbandian and Agassi. There's been a double break. Swiatek, 3-love. So yeah, I think that was the last time it worked. It went for on the men's side. It was 2004. And if you remember 2004 and that French Open in particular, Gaudio won that French Open and didn't do much else. I mean, he won a couple of smaller tournaments here and there in his career, but it was really the highlight of his career. And he got it was the Grand Slam rule was in effect. On the women's side, it only just started becoming a thing. Because of, Raducanu should have been qualified in 2022. She was outside the top 10 but won Wimbledon. She should have, qualified for that. But, it's a good rule. I like that rule. I think if you win a Grand Slam, you should get a chance to play because you're one of the best players of the season. So you deserve a chance to play even if you only won that tournament. All right, Swiatek dominating, which is standard when she plays Lys. Let's just hope Lys doesn't get bageled. That would be a shame. She's better than a bagel. Or at least she deserves a better scoreline than a bagel. Who is the coach of Lys? Ridiculous. She's trying to slog it out with Swiatek. Horrible game plan. She should mix it up, taking pace off, then fire some back, bring Swiatek to the net. To be honest, I like the way she's playing. I think she's playing the right way. In my head, if I'm coaching Lys, first time she played Swiatek was on clay. She got beaten badly. And it was also the first time Lys kind of played a main draw, I think, as well, if I remember correctly. The second time they played, Lys had, had a great run as a lucky loser, and then she came up against Swiatek and got beaten badly. And I like the fact that she's doing something different. Like, if she had done the same thing as what she did in Australia and lost the same way that way, I would have been like, well, what's the point? If you're just going to play the same game, how are you going to expect a different result? So I like the fact that she's being more aggressive and that she's trying something different, even if the scoreline hasn't changed. Because what's going to happen now is when let's say Lys loses 6-1 in this set too, then when Lys goes back to the drawing board and has to play Swiatek again in the future, she can go, okay, well, I played in Australia and I got beaten by playing this way. What worked, what didn't? I played this other way in Canada, what worked and what didn't. And then they can build a proper game plan around the two different tactical decisions, you know? Because it's not all bad. She had the first couple of games in the first set, she was very competitive, and she's been hitting really good. Like, it's been really good, considering how bad she just got totally overrun in Australia. So I like that she's playing this style, even if the scoreline's the same. But she can take a lot out of this, and then the next time she plays Swiatek, she can create maybe a hybrid of game styles where it incorporates her own great defense, but also can use a bit of aggression and you know, at least she can also maybe take some belief out of the fact that, okay, you know, when I executed that aggressive style, it worked and I was winning some points. And, you know, I've just got to be better at it because she's not executing enough to make it competitive. I like that she's playing this way, even if the score is identical to, well, the same as most of the other two times. It's like, otherwise what? Just play the same game, lose the same way, and learn nothing. I mean, that's the compromise, right? Play like you did in Australia, lose 1-1, and then leave the court going, well, that didn't work again, and you have nothing to build on. So I like this. I think Lisa's doing the right thing. Some players, it takes 10 matches against the same player to finally figure out how to do something, you know? So it's nice at least after 2 matches against Swiatek has gone, okay, I'm going to take a different strategy and do something different and see what happens. And there's definitely highlights that they could take out of this. The downside is that she's making a lot of errors, and that's, you know, that is an issue, you know. Is it a forehand now into the forehand of Swiatek? Forehand now from Lys. Down the line's a very nice shot from Lys, 30-40. See, and then it does work like that. Because it could have been really easy for Lys after the first set to just go back into, I'm just going to defend, I'm going to play my game. It's good that she's still going for it. She's still like, you know what? I'm still going to go after it. Even though the scoreline is one-sided. As the return goes in from Lys to the backhand Swiatek. Lys in the rally. Backhand cross court. Again, the backhand Swiatek as Lys with the forehand cross court. She overhits it though. She was in that rally. Deuce. All right, deuce. There's a bit of fault from Swiatek. Second serve. Serve again. Into the forehand of Lys. Forehand of Swiatek to the forehand of Lys. Lys in the net. And Swiatek with a chance to take the 4-love lead. All right, advantage Swiatek. Serve to the forehand of Lys. Lys in the net, 4-love. Swiatek has the double break. Okay. As a return from Lys goes out. And it's love 15. By the way, Emma Raducanu versus Amanda Anisimova coming on straight after this, which is going to be a really fun match. 15-0. Also, Fritz is up a set and a break. Mukova Bencic are going to 3. There's a bit of fault from Lys. Second serve. As return goes to the back of Lys. Back Swiatek to the front of Lys. Swiatek goes to the back of Lys. The back of Swiatek. Lys on the stretch goes in the net. 15-30. 15-30. 15-30. 7 to the back of Swiatek. Forehand from Lys. Into the forehand of Swiatek. Swiatek hits it wide and it's 30-0. All right, Chad, I want to just see, out of curiosity, how many points Lys has won today compared to Swiatek matches in the past. So Lys won 20... that's on serve. Hang on, how do I... oh, here we go. So Lys, when she played Swiatek the first time, Swiatek won 51 points and Lys won 34. Only 13 points on the return of serve for Lys against Swiatek the first time they played. When they played earlier this year, Lys only won 9 points against Swiatek's serve in 2 sets. She won 18 points on her serve, but she only won, 27 total? And Swiatek, she won nearly 60 points total. As Lys on the board, she said, I won 3 games for the first time. See, at least she sees the funny side. Today, Lys has won 12 points on return, 20 points on serve. Swiatek is winning 52 points so far. So Lys, she hasn't won. So if she does win another game, or at least she wins another point on her serve, it's been the best serving she's ever done against Swiatek. Obviously, 3 games, and she's won 3 games, so that shows as well. But she won 13 points against Swiatek the first time they played, and she's won 12 points. So again, this is the best she's ever done against Swiatek with the games, but also with the points. So, and as we spoke about, there's been a lot of 30-all games. It hasn't been Swiatek winning 40-love every time. So again, progress for Lys. Something to take out of this match, even if you're going to lose 2-1. There's little victories in this match for Lys. So she won't be leaving this match, thinking, oh, well, I can never beat this lady. No, there's definitely been times where she's been better than Swiatek here. And she's been competitive. So she's just got to do that more often the next time she plays, and she might win a set. Who knows? Okay. 4-1. Swiatek serves an ace. 15-love. Why is Lys so bad against Swiatek every time? Well, this is the 3rd time they played. First time they played was a long time ago. Second time they played was in the Australian Open, and 3rd time is now. I think it's just, we talked about with Penko earlier today. Why does Penko beat Swiatek, but Penko can't beat someone like Osaka? And I think it's just intimidation. I don't think Swiatek's very intimidated by Lys. the way that she plays. She's like, she's not going to hit the ball that hard. I'm not worried. Kind of like Swiatek against Paolini. Same thing, right? Swiatek isn't bothered by Paolini, really, when they've played. Because Paolini's not going to hit her off the court. Paolini's not going to, punish her serve. Same with Lys. Lys is not going to hit return winners. Swiatek's serve isn't under as much pressure as it is against Penko, or Collins or Sabalenka or whoever. So I think that's the big reason, is that this type of opponent doesn't bother Swiatek. She isn't scared of this type. She's not. Her serve is not, is not under pressure. As Swiatek gets a 40 love. Why do you like Swiatek not to win? Who said that? Someone in the chat? That's weird. She's kicking ass. 40 love. Swiatek serves again. Will you be watching Gauff versus Mboko tomorrow? Yes. As the return goes into the forehand, Swiatek. Leaks backhand pass is a winner. Nice shot. 40-15. Do you think Swiatek will ever figure out Penko? Yes, because Ostapenko will play bad one time they play. And Swiatek will be ready to pounce. There will be a day where Penko plays a bad match and makes all those errors, and Swiatek will win. It will happen. It will happen. 40-15. Also, after winning Wimbledon, I'm sure Swiatek's full of confidence. So I'm sure Swiatek wouldn't be too worried about playing Penko. Well, she wouldn't mind playing Penko. I don't think if she plays Penko in like a third round, it would probably suck. But if she plays Penko in a semi, in a big semi-final, that might be better for Swiatek. Because that way, if you lose, you go, I made the semis. Whereas if you've got to play Penko in the second or third rounds, that sucks more because, that's when it's like a big upset. Whereas I think if Swiatek played her in like a final or a semi, I think she would feel a little less bothered by losing, if that makes sense. She wouldn't fear losing as much. Whereas when you lose in the third round as number 2 or number 3 in the world, that's an upset. That's bad. Bad result, So maybe if they play in a semi, it might actually favor Swiatek. But again, Penko's going to play a bad match one of the times they play. She's not going to play the best matches of her life every time she plays Swiatek. Swiatek gets a winner, 15-0. There will be a day. I don't know when, but there will be. All right, 15-0. Yeah, if they play in Cincinnati, Penko wins. Then again, you know what might even be more interesting? If they play on a court that is exactly what Penko... Like, if everything favors Ostapenko, maybe it doesn't. Maybe if they... Like, I'm saying... So we said this earlier. Maybe Swiatek needs to play on a slow clay court and maybe this and that. Why not give it to... Like, why not Swiatek play Penko on the worst court for Swiatek? And give Penko... give Penko all the advantages, and maybe that is when she falters. Because everything says that Ostapenko's going to win, and she's the favorite by a mile. And maybe that's in Cincy. Maybe a Cincinnati second round or third round, Swiatek Penko third round Cincinnati, where the courts are lightning quick, and Swiatek's going to struggle, and we're all like, well, Penko's won in that one. Maybe that's when Swiatek surprises us all and beats her. Because Penko's like, oh no, everyone thinks I'm going to win. Uh-oh, I better win, and the pressure's on her again, for maybe the first time in their matchups. Maybe that's what she needs. Swiatek needs them to play in Cincy. Anyways, Lys does not get a bakery trip today. She's won 4 games and she's happy about it. We love that. All right, 5-2. Swiatek's going to serve for the match. Good point. Swiatek can play freely when she's supposed to lose. Yeah. If it's against, like, if it's on a surface and on a court that heavily favors Ostapenko and Swiatek has a disadvantage, maybe that will help. Maybe that will psych out Penko. Maybe she'll freak out because she's gonna be the favorite, and maybe then Swiatek can play a little bit carefree because she's the underdog. I feel like this is what Swiatek needs to say. She just start doing mind games where she goes in the press conference and goes, well, I'm the underdog. You know how Djokovic does that like all the time? Well, he used to do that all the time, even when he was number one. And he's like, oh, yeah, but like it's on clay, so like I'm not the favorite. And you're like, bullshit. Bullshit, come on. Swiatek needs to do that. She needs to be like, well, I'm not the favorite. She's the favorite. I've never beaten her, so she's the better player. She's the one who everyone should be thinking should win. Everyone should be looking at her. Don't look at me. Like, maybe that's what she needs to start doing, Swiatek, in the press conference next time they match up. Like, just give all those answers, Give all those, just put all the pressure on her. I'm the underdog. I'm just going to go out there and try and win them. It's never, Just do that. Just do that game. Do that gamesmanship, All right. Swiatek serve for the match. Swiatek serving to get to the fourth round. Can't wait for that Penko versus Swiatek match in Cincy. Yeah. Have we spoken it into existence? That would be epic. I don't think they can play until the fourth round, though, because of the seeds. So I don't think Penko and Swiatek can cross because Penko is ranked 20-something. So they can't play until... Because remember... this is like a Grand Slam. So the seeds between 24 or 25 and 32 or 26, they can play. Penko's 26. So they could play. I thought Penko was like higher. She's 22. She was 22 in the world here. So yeah, they could play. They could play in the third round. 26 can play 4 or play 3, sorry. They could play in a third round of Cincinnati. Unless there's withdrawals. But there is withdrawals, so she might be like 23, 22 anyway. Anyways, Lys puts the smash into the floor to Swiatek. Swiatek in there, 15-0. And again, Lys with a big smile. She's just... Look, even though Lys is just getting mauled, it's just great to see that she's still having fun. And that she's still at least like enjoying her time out there. Even though she has every reason to be pissed off for not having fun. So, Penko's 24. So, okay, Penko Swiatek cannot happen until the fourth round. Penko is number 24. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing for Swiatek, but Raducanu could play Swiatek in the third round. Anyways, 15-0. Penko versus Swiatek fourth round at the Cincy. Make it happen. Tennis gods, make it happen. Lys return winner. All right, 15-30. It's because Badosa and Zhang pulled out. If they were playing, Penko could have been in her section of the draw in the third round. As we return now from Lys into the forehand Swiatek. Forehand from Lys goes out 30-0. Why instead of commentating try to find all situations, terrible courts, and all other things, just not to let her be best? Why answer? I don't know. What were you trying to say? 30-0. I don't understand what you're saying. You wrote an essay and I got lost. As the return goes into the forehand of Swiatek, that's a great shot, but Lys gets it back with a slice. And then backhand from Swiatek's good. Lys gets it, but she hits it wide. She was there for it as well. All right, 40-30. Swiatek with the match point, but Lys can take some encouragement out of this match. It's been her best performance against Swiatek. And look, it's not about, winning the next match. It's about just being better than last, Being better than you were yesterday, right, chat? As it a 4 now from Swiatek, that goes into the forehand of Lys. Swiatek forehand down the line. Lys gets there with the backhand, but can't get it. Swiatek wins 2-2. But Lys, improvement. Steps forward in the right direction. If you're a Swiatek fan, you're happy with this matchup. As they have a laugh at the net. Lys has a great attitude, by the way. Very, very... will be a popular player, for sure. By the way, Chet, why is the guy in Montreal doing the speeches? Looks like he's coming from the beach. Is there any beaches in Montreal? I thought Montreal was in the middle of the country. Dude's out here looking like he's lost his surfboard. Hello? He's wearing a fedora and an open shirt. Why is he not wearing flip-flops? Maybe they were like, we can't show your toes on TV, mate. All right. Good result from Lys, though. Third round. Slowly climbing up the ranks. Montreal is an island. Is it, though? I thought Montreal was a city in the middle of Canada. Montreal is an island. Of course it has beaches. Are you serious? Montreal's not an island? I would know because I don't live there. I live on the other side of the world. You know, Montreal's an island. Where are you going to swim in the... we're going to surf in the river? Okay, it is an island. Like Manhattan is, you know. There's no beaches. There's lakes and rivers. What are you talking about? Yeah, gaslighting me. Ah! And I fell for it. There's no beaches. There's no beaches. There's like... that's not a beach. There's rocks everywhere. What are you talking about? Get stuff. There's no beaches anywhere. I live on an island, all right? The biggest island in the world. Australia, and we have beaches. That's not a beach. This is a beach. We've got a beach. I'll show you a beach. I live on an island. All right. Raducanu's match is coming up right now. By the way, Fritz just won. Lys has got the Ukraine flag on her hat. Yeah, because she's one of her parents is from there. I think her dad's Ukrainian. I like Mbokko's chances against Gauff. Thoughts? I think it's her best chance against a top player this year for sure. She already played Gauff as well, so she's got some experience there. So I think it's a great opportunity for Mbokko. I think Gauff still wins, but I'm excited for that match. We've been watching a bit of Mbokko lately, and she's had a very good year for her first season. You know. Lys was born in the UK. In the Ukraine. I was just spelling the word Ukran. Yeah. So that's yeah. How's my team looking? Looking all right. Bagula is the only one who lost. Also, I have Mbokko as a wild card, so that helps. I'm 18th this week. Just Bagula is the only one that's lost so far. I've got Fritz, I've got Swiatek, I've got Gauff, Keys, Shelton, Raducanu, Bruna. All right, I'm going to send you over to the next one because we have Raducanu and Nisimova, which I believe is match of the day, at least on paper. The Wimbledon finalist versus the player that's beaten her twice this year, I think, right? Both times this year. So jump on over there. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in 5. But Swiatek wins 2-2, just over an hour. She's in the 4th round. We'll watch her again in a couple of days.